Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne. And this is my video coaching newsletter, and the topic of today's newsletter is going to be dating delusions. Well, I've got a doozy of an email from you. This particular guy met a girl in college. He went to coffee with her like one time. Keep in mind, this girl had a boyfriend, and then she moved back to her home country, and so he's been corresponding with her since. And then he basically got to the point where he couldn't take his feelings for her anymore and vomited them all over her, expecting that she would just ditch her boyfriend and they'd live happily ever after, which you've probably seen that bullshit theme in a lot of movies and TV shows over the years. And so there's a few facepalm moments in there, maybe a few come on mans I feel might come on. But what I liked about this email is you can see how this guy, he just projects his fantasy onto this other person, gets totally hung up and attached to her, hung up on this woman, and he's just completely taken himself out of the game for years. So it's a good one to learn from. I mean, I can kind of relate to how this guy was, because when you have this fantasy, this one-itis, that there's this one perfect person out there, and once you decide who that is, you just forget everything else. I mean, this is kind of some of the things I did in my late teenage years, early 20s, so I can totally relate to where this guy is, and I used to do the same shit when I didn't know any better. So let's see what we can do to get him out of this and start focusing on what he needs to focus on so he can attract the kind of woman he wants and deserves and who reciprocates interests. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then I'm going to go through his email. And the quote says, "When it comes to potential romantic partners, it's healthy to have an attitude that a person is either in or out. You deserve someone who has mutual romantic interest and enthusiasm towards the possibility of being your lover. Life is too short, and there are way too many romantic possibilities and choices than you could ever explore, experience, or capitalize on." I mean, there's what, 7.5 billion people in the world? About half of them are women. I mean, think about the numbers. They're just, the numbers, when you think about it from that perspective, are really stacked in your favor. Therefore, continue circulating, seeking, and extending romantic invitations to those you desire, and only spend your time and energy with people who value and appreciate it and who reciprocate romantic interest. Getting hung up on someone who does not reciprocate romantic interest is demeaning to yourself, demonstrates a lack of self-love, and leads to unhealthy attachments that prevent attracting the high-quality partner you want and deserve. You studied Buddhism or Zen, or many spiritual traditions talk about not being attached to people, places, circumstances, things that you want. Because when you get attached to something, you get in the way of the universe meeting and exceeding your expectations. It's a very powerful way to live your life, just like the Thich Nhat Hanh quote. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And at the end of the day, true love is freedom. So let's go through his email. He says, "Dear Corey, thank you for your videos and insight. You have really had a positive impact on me and my way of approaching a relationship. Please, I have a problem with my female friend whom I have known for going on 3 years now. She is from abroad, but we met at university and she's gone back to her country. Although before she left, we went for coffee once, and we have been corresponding via email ever since, up until last Christmas, when I sent her Christmas messages and a gift. Gifts are for girlfriends or your wife, not chicks that you want to date or hope to date. The gift comes off as a bribe for sex in a relationship. Besides, did she get you anything for Christmas? Obviously not. I also sent her an email, but she did not reply to those messages. I should tell you something. You're looking for somebody who reciprocates interest. The idea is to find somebody who's single, ready to mingle, in other words, ready, willing, able, and open to dating. So I decided not to call her, and she did not try to call or message me during this period. 3 months later, he still hasn't heard from her, by the way, 3 months later. I sent her a message that we need to talk." You don't say that to women, dude. You don't say we need to talk. I mean, at the end of the day, she's ignoring you. You sent her a gift and she didn't even say thanks. That should tell you everything you need to know. In other words, dating, as I've said before, I even did a couple videos on it over the years. Dating is like a game of tennis. You hit the ball over the net, and then you wait for the other person to hit it back. And so you hit 2 or 3 balls over the net, and she didn't hit a single one of them back. And you think reaching out to her saying, "We need to talk." Well, he obviously got a response from him, which you'll see in a second. And so I told her I'm having feelings for her. So he's thinking, if I just tell her how much I like her, then she'll really start to like me. She already figured out that you were liking her. Women aren't stupid. They know these things. They're pretty intuitive. She could tell you were getting attached, and she was hoping that you would get the message and just kind of go away. Because when you love and you value yourself, and somebody treats you like you're dirt, or they don't like you, they don't support your purpose and mission in life, next, you move on to the next one. You don't sit around trying to change their mind. It's demeaning to yourself. And plus, it takes you out of the game. It prevents you from being open to meeting people that are always circulating around you. And then I would want for us to be in a relationship. You haven't even gone on a date, dude, and now you want to be in a relationship. You're putting the cart before the horse. And before you ever get to a relationship, you got to go out on a date. You want to hang out. You want to have fun. You want to hook up, like I talk about in the book. And then let the woman bring up the relationship. And this girl's just ignoring you. And so you're telling her how much you like her and that you want a relationship. It's obviously inappropriate. And this is the response I got from her. Keep in mind, he's perplexed by this response and going, what does it mean? And she says, "Dear Bob," well, that's not his real name, but we call everybody Bob here. "I don't know what I should reply to these emails. Please, I ask of you to put the situation into perspective." In other words, wake the fuck up, dude. She's going, "Pew, pew. We only went out for coffee once and have been having some correspondence by mail, but nothing which would explain why you should feel that we have ever been that close, or that may justify why you should feel as you do for me, as you cannot rationally care so much and so intimately for a person you barely know." Obviously, he's projecting his fantasy onto her and having all these visions in his head, what the wedding day is going to be like, who's going to come to the wedding, where they're going to have it, where their honeymoon's going to be, how many kids they're going to have, where they're going to live. I had these thoughts when I was younger, dude, and you were about the same age when I was having these kinds of thoughts. So I learned the hard way, and you're learning the hard way now too. "We have only been acquaintances, and this situation has not made me want to pursue it any further." So in other words, lose my number, dude, is what she's basically saying. "I'm sorry for saying it this harshly. It's actually nice of her to reach out and say, dude, get a fucking clue. Because most women will just ignore you, or if you continue to persist, then they get a restraining order against you. You don't continue to pursue and pursue and pursue and obsess like they do in the movies. But I really don't know what you would expect from me. I want to be kind to you, but you must also know how to act towards other people. And this has felt more like an intrusion than respectful behavior, which has caused a strain on my relationship with my boyfriend. So if it's causing a strain on her relationship with her boyfriend, that means she's telling him about you because she loves him and cares about him, and she wants to know what's going on, and she's a loyal woman. And you're obviously, you know she has a boyfriend, and you're ignoring that fact. So come on, dude. But it's like you see in the movies, it doesn't matter. She could be married, she could be in a relationship, she could be about to get married. And in the movies, it's like you just tell her how much you like her, and she'll go, oh, what an idiot I've been. I'm just going to cancel the wedding and let's go live happily ever after, even though we've never been on one date. Keep in mind, these movies are usually written by the geeks that sat in the back of the class and never got laid when they were in high school. And they have this fantasy. They saw it in another movie, and then they become screenwriters, and they start writing and perpetuating the same bullshit. That's reality, dude. Which has caused a strain on my relationship with my boyfriend, who I place above all others as well. In other words, my boyfriend is my rock, my mountain. I have a happy relationship. He is my man. So leave me the fuck alone, basically. I don't think it places me in any fair situation. I did trust that you understood what I had said when you said so, but this mail reflects that you don't. So she even told you in person, hey, I got a boyfriend. But it's like, whew, it just kind of goes right over your fucking head. It's like, come on, man. As you clearly don't understand my part in this, I'm sorry, Bob, but it cannot go on, and I urge that you move on from this, which in no way may be a desirable situation for you to be in. But I am not going to carry you out of it by engaging in a relationship with you, which I would not be able to do, honestly, as I would not like to continue this relation due to the circumstances. I'm sorry, but you must respect this. I wish you may find happiness and consolation. Best wishes, Jessica. Not her real name. So, dude, she's saying, leave me the fuck alone. Get a clue. I'm not interested. I have a boyfriend. This is totally disgusting behavior. You need to cut it the fuck out. So after he gets that email, because this is the second time she's basically said, like, dude, get a clue. Because obviously she must have. Maybe when they went together for coffee, she told him the same thing. And he's going, but I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. So look at his, listen to his next response to her. And he said, or to me, he says, Corey, thank you for your insights so far. I'm still hurting as a result of this. I'm sure you are, dude. But at the end of the day, that's what happens when reality meets bullshit and delusion. You're experiencing the pain. You were wrong. This is not appropriate behavior. In other words, you've seen too many fucking movies. It doesn't work this way in the real world. Above is the email that she sent asking me to move on. He said, I really don't know what to make of it. She's saying in a nice way, dude, please fuck off and leave me alone. Don't call me. Don't email me. Don't send me any gifts. It's totally inappropriate. It's not fair to me. My boyfriend doesn't like it. You're creating problems in my relationship, and you need to move the fuck on and live your life. Please, your insight will be greatly appreciated. Do you think I can still get her back as a friend? Come on, man. I mean, seriously. You don't want her as a friend. You want to date and have a relationship with her. That's fucking obvious. Let it go. Just be strong enough. I know it's tough. Be strong enough to say, you know what? This girl didn't reciprocate any interest. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to reply. I'm going to start reading Corey's book 10 to 15 times and meeting and dating as many. I mean, you're young, dude. You're in college. This is the only time in your life when you're going to be surrounded by beautiful single women that are the same age as you and they have the same goals and the same values. It's a total target-rich environment. So practice the things I teach in my book. Have fun, hang out, have fun, hook up. Don't get hung up on any woman. Make sure that the women that you date reciprocate interest. It's like a game of tennis. You're not going to get the other person by turning the automatic tennis ball machine on high and shooting 1,000 balls over the net in their direction. There was another video I did several years ago from a guy who was older that was had the same kind of thinking called, I think it was called Clueless Creepy Stalker. And I had to lower the boom on him as well because he needed to learn the hard way. I know it was painful. It's not fun. You just say, you know what? I fucked up. This is not right. It doesn't work. Women don't appreciate. This doesn't ingratiate you to the female species, if you will. So cut it the fuck out, dude. Seriously. Do you think I still get her back as a friend in the first place, as I do not want to lose her completely? Dude, you never had her to begin with. It's an unhealthy attachment to want somebody who is not single, not available. And part of your thinking, and the reason I can say this is because I used to think like you, is this is a way to avoid a relationship altogether by being hung up on people that don't want you, that aren't interested. Because it's easy and it's safe that way. You don't really have to risk anything. Because after all, she's taken. So, like I said, read the book 10 to 15 times. Start applying it. You can even go to audible.com and subscribe and get a free Audible trial. And you can get my book for free. But get out there and start applying it. Dude, you're young. You get your whole life ahead of you. This is just one chick. Laugh at it. I mean, because it is funny. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, even 5 years from now, you'll look back at this and you'll laugh your ass off at yourself and say, I was totally fucking ridiculous. You got to let it go, dude. It's just unhealthy from this point forward. And if your outcome is a relationship or a girlfriend, then you need to get out there and date and practice the things that are in the book, because quite frankly, your skills are not going to get any better if you keep going through life like this. You're just going to get hung up on one unavailable chick after another, and you're just going to waste a tremendous amount of time, and emotionally, you're going to be raking yourself over the coals. It's like eating glass on purpose. It's like, why would you want to do that? So if you'd like to get my help personally, you can go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book whatever coaching option works for you. And I will talk to you soon.